Thanks for tuning in to Jamaica Magazine. I am Audrey Williams. Today we're connecting farmers with water, telling you how you can help to get your child's school ready for the new academic year, and sharing some useful information on the weather. You don't want to miss these, so stay with us.
We want a productive Jamaica. We all are productive Jamaicans. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity is the way to go for all us Jamaicans. Small business, big business, old and young, we are tell every woman and man. We want growth and prosperity for a better nation with a building plan. So we can build our product and sell our product and put more money in our hand. Our economy can rise to a level and build a better nation. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity.
Productivity, Pathway to Prosperity. A message brought to you by the Jamaica Productivity Center, a department of the Ministry of Labor and Social Security.
Good day, I'm Carrie-Ann Smith, and this is your GIS News for Thursday, August 25. Jamaica's economy is expected to grow between the range of 0.5 and 1.5% for the July to September quarter of this fiscal year. The Planning Institute of Jamaica, PIOJ, made the forecast during its quarterly briefing yesterday. Newly appointed Director General Dr. Wayne Henry says the projection is based on the 1.1% outturn for the April to June period. Economic growth for the first 6 months of the calendar year also increased by 0.9% as the goods producing industry recorded 1.6% growth and the services industry grew by 0.8%.
Higher output was estimated for all industries, with the exception of mining and quarrying, down 1.4%, and producers of government services, down 0.2%. The industries with the largest increases during the period were agriculture, forestry and fishing, up 4.9%, electricity and water supply, up 5.4%, and hotels and restaurants, up 2%.
PIOJ's Director General says there is also continued strengthening in business and consumer confidence, boosted by the anticipated positive 13th quarter review by the IMF's Executive Board. Public sector nurse practitioners are the latest group of healthcare professionals to sign the 2015-2017 Heads of Agreement with the government. The signing took place at the Finance Ministry yesterday. The 2-year wage deal calls for a 4% salary increase in year 1 and 3% in year 2. Minister of State with responsibility for the public service, Rudyard Spencer, lauded union representatives for their tolerance and understanding of the issues, adding that government was offering the best it could afford.
Indeed, sometimes we would love to give more. But now more than ever, when you're under the dictates of the IMF, you really can't give more.
The agreement also includes provisions for education and training.
A grant of $1 million for nurse practitioners. We believe that whilst it is a drop in the bucket, we believe that it is a good start and it is an indication that we are heading in the right direction.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness says his administration will be placing emphasis on ensuring that the secondary education system is more flexible to fit the needs of students.
Teachers have to teach according to how the students learn and not the other way around. And we have to strengthen our value system so that our students can place the bombardment of information that they will receive in context so that they can become better individuals with strong characters to withstand the turbulence of the world in which we live.
Mr. Holness was giving the main address at Wednesday's GSET Awards ceremony for children of staff at the offices of the Prime Minister and the Cabinet. As he congratulated the students, the Prime Minister reminded them to continue working hard. The Ministry of Education has increased the maintenance grant provided to schools in its Region 6 division. That includes schools in Clarendon and St. Catherine.
Beginning this year, for primary all-age infant and junior high schools, you will see in the first part of the financial year, that's up to April, you'll see a 90% increase in your maintenance grant. And I'm expecting another 60% next year.
The Education Minister made the announcement recently during a back-to-school conference for schools in Region 6.
At the moment, as we speak, we are dispatching the maintenance grant to your schools.
The Jamaica Urban Transit Company, JUTC, is urging students turning 12 years old to update their smarter card profiles before the August 28 deadline set for them to do so. This is required so they can continue benefiting from the concessionary fare rate of $30. The smarter card profiles can be updated at any JUTC location. These include the Spanish Town and Halfway Tree Transport Centers, as well as the JUTC offices in Greater Portmore and East Parade in downtown Kingston. Students who do not update their profiles to reflect their age will be required to pay the adult fare of $100. And finally, Prime Minister Andrew Holness has extended Jamaica's solidarity with and support for the government and people of Italy in the wake of a devastating earthquake which has killed scores of persons so far. Mr. Holness expressed his sympathies in a letter to Prime Minister Matteo Renzi of the Republic of Italy. He also expressed hope that there would be a speedy recovery in affected areas and that the resilience of the people of central Italy would enable them to overcome the impact of the tragedy. And that's it for GIS News Today. I'm Kerry-Ann Smith. Thanks for watching.
We have championed e-learning in Jamaica, provided state-of-the-art technology in over 200 educational institutions, developed materials for CSEC, piloted the Tablets in Schools project in 38 schools, including infant and primary, and trained thousands of teachers in technology integration. We are e-Learning Jamaica Company Limited, ELJAM, an agency of the Ministry of Science, Energy and Technology. Visit our website www.elearnja.org.
Connecting farmers with water has always been a high priority for the Ministry of Agriculture. Up next, we look at how the Government of Jamaica Adaptation Fund program has been enabling production with this precious resource.
Farmers, the lifeline of the food chain. Water, the precious resource that helps to grow the food we love. Put them together and we get an agriculture sector that will produce on a consistent and sustainable level. So the Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries is continuously implementing projects to connect farmers with water through initiatives like the Government of Jamaica Adaptation Fund program. The agriculture component of the GOJ Adaptation Fund program is to build farmers' resilience against climate change. With over $250 million Jamaican dollars in funding, farmers in vulnerable communities are being trained in best practice methods such as land husbandry and equipped for rainwater harvesting and improved irrigation infrastructure. Beneficiaries are small farmers in the parishes of Trelawney, St. Mary, Manchester, St. Catherine, St. Thomas, St. Anne and Clarendon. We journeyed into the hills of Low River in southern Trelawney to look at the work being done to harvest and distribute water to the predominantly yam farming community.
The Low River Water Harvesting and Irrigation Scheme is just under $2 million. One of the systems that has been most far-reaching, the fact is that to date we have just about 70 householders that have been connected to the system, and that is directly impacting about 350 community members. This system comprises of an entombment. What we have done, we have improved the entombment. We have built a wall across this area here, about 5 to 6 feet in depth and about 12 feet across. And that has improved the water storage capacity significantly. It was about 9 feet prior to the intervention, and now the 6 feet that we have added brings it to about 14 feet in depth.
To increase the flow of the water from the hill, the 3-inch pipes which connected the system before were changed to 6-inch pipes.
And that is what accounts for the significant pressure that we observe down in the community.
Prior to the improved water system, community members would have to come here and catch water for domestic use, while the farmers had to go to the river to catch water for irrigation purposes.
So you no longer have to go to the river to take up water?
Me not think so.
That's the water that you farm
here.
Pipe run, everything going in process. We don't have to go to the river. We don't have to pay the extra money for you to carry the water.
I think this water system would help us better now.
Presently, we have an approximately 470 farmers who benefit from the system. These farmers presently cultivate some 267 hectares of land. We are encouraging farmers to farm what we call climate smart agriculture. And this project certainly is a way to assist these farmers in order for them to produce all year round and in order for them to support, especially the import substitution program that the government is presently promoting.
The Low River Water Project was started in 2014 by the residents and Councillor of the Lorimer's Division, Paul Patmore. By enhancing the water system, the Government of Jamaica Adaptation Fund program was able to not only increase the flow of water, but also ran pipes along the main, and the residents took it a step further.
They have gone ahead and invested in pipes, in black tanks, to take the water from our distribution line into their household. So this is a real partnership between the community and the project.
I would just want to take time out just to say thank you to the management and staff of the GOJ project, and we really appreciate it.
Many of the farmers have testified that they are able to go back into production, expand their production, and quite a number of householders are now living more comfortable in terms of having access, increased access to water, both for irrigation as well as domestic purposes. The greenhouse that was out of operation because of the lack of water, preparation is being made as we speak to recommission that greenhouse into production. Transportation comes as far as from St. Anne, Clarendon, Manchester, to collect water, to carry back to those communities to service farmers as well as community householders for domestic as well as irrigation use.
The next phase of the Low River Water Project is to connect the farmers with on-farm irrigation systems.
Finger-licking jerk chicken, Helsha fish and bami, will run down yam and banana, roast breadfruit, sweet potato pudding. Jamaica food sweet. So let's make a pledge to use more local produce and less foreign goods. Let's grow what we eat and eat what we grow.
Keeping track of weather conditions, such as an impending storm, is also important to the sustainability of the farming sector. And this is where the Meteorological Service comes in. Here's a look at how they predict the weather, so we can plan accordingly.
Of course, all eyes are on Hurricane Ivan at this time, where we see that we are on the outer fringe of the system. Some of the bands are spilling some showers over the Jamaica area. Just a warning that this thing is actually coming across the area.
A television broadcast of national importance. A critical prediction that possibly saved lives and property. A prediction that came at the end of a process that began with some pretty sophisticated technology.
Weather forecasting is trying to determine the changes in the atmosphere.
Several methods are applied to gather weather data. From simple observation,
it's critical to assess the clouds because the cloud is one of the most important elements of determining a forecast.
to the use of satellites, radars, buoys, and weather aircraft. Forecasters from around the world share information generated by advanced computer software and remote sensing equipment, such as this automatic weather station. Working together, data is synchronized or matched, making it possible to predict the weather from virtually anywhere in the world. Weather collecting devices like buoys, which are equipped with special sensors and networked to computer software, are strategically placed and anchored along the seas or left to drift in response to ocean currents and winds. These networks of buoys provide forecasters with hourly updates on marine measurements related to wind conditions, barometric pressure, air and sea surface temperatures, as well as wave data. The Doppler radar is another useful tool. Radar stands for radio detection and ranging, and it works based on a series of principles named for Austrian physicist Johann Christian Doppler. This sophisticated instrument allows forecasters to monitor the speed and direction of severe weather systems. Data from all sources are fed to central points for analysis and comparison and are shared all over the world.
And in doing that, we are able to produce what we call a synoptic chart. In producing this chart, it gives us a picture of what is happening across Jamaica and the region. Region here meaning the Caribbean area. After we do that, then we also look at what we call weather prediction models. These models enable us to determine what is going to happen in the future. What we do with the model is that we make an analysis of the model and we make a comparison between the model forecast and what we had done on the synoptic chart.
At this stage, a determination can be made as to what will happen over the next 12 to 24 hours with an outlook for up to 5 days.
In looking at the information, then we determine what the features are and what the influence of these features would be across Jamaica, which would indicate if the day is going to be cloudy, if it's going to be fair, or we expect showers, thunderstorm, or a very windy day.
From the more urgent situations, such as an approaching hurricane, to the less crucial, like where to go for a sunny vacation, news on the weather is always useful. And very important for fishermen and others who must navigate the seas for a living.
We also issue marine products, so persons who are going out to sea would know what the conditions would be across the seas. We have aviation products that are issued specifically to aviation users that would enable them to make a safe flight.
This is a live feed from the runway. So all the information that is displayed here is what's happening currently on the runway, and this is what is critical to all the airlines.
Information on climatic conditions is also provided to farmers and persons in construction, as well as those doing research on the environment. So the next time you see this,
some scattered shower activity over some coastal areas on the northern side of the island.
Remember, weather prediction isn't a guessing game. It's a scientific process involving sophisticated technology, providing useful information for industry, for research, for disaster management, and for life.
All residents immediately evacuate the area.
The Ministry of Education, Youth and Information is committed to ensuring that every Jamaican child has the best learning environment to thrive and needs your cooperation to make the education system work successfully.
What are the school's voluntary contributions for?
Co-curricular and sports activities and school development.
What amount are parents to contribute?
Your contributions are voluntary and the amount depends on the type of programs being offered by the school.
If my child is being denied access to school, can I complain to the ministry?
Yes. You can call or visit any of the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information's 6 regional offices or send an email to complaints@moey.gov.jm.
What support is there for PATH students?
PATH students are not expected to make contributions and are to be provided with 5 days free lunch as of this year.
Parents and guardians, do continue to make your voluntary financial contributions to your children's school. The institutions need your assistance for their school development and sporting activities. Remember, every child can learn. Every child must learn.
This time of year is usually busy with finishing touches being made to schools for the beginning of the new academic year. This is critical if schools are to open on time and without major disruption. So we encourage the involvement of parents and community members.
There is a saying which states, "Many hands make work light," and we've seen this be proven true, especially when we take on our annual Labor Day activities and other organized work days. This can be applied to getting schools ready to reopen their doors. Yes, man! Community members coming out and helping to fix up learning facilities in their areas. And if you're not sure where to start, we have a few suggestions.
Education is a partnership, and by virtue of this partnership, the community is extremely critical. So as we prepare for the new school year, what are some of the things that our community members can do? Our community members can assist in the preparation of the classrooms, the repairs to the benches as well as the desks and chairs that would have been damaged in the previous school year, the painting of the classrooms, the cleaning up of the yard, the repairs to the bathrooms, and the general fixing up that is required for the students to have a pleasing and comfortable environment. The community can also assist by holding each other responsible, especially in this time when we are having a drought, and not to allow community members to take away the little water that the National Water Commission and the Ministry of Education will be working together to put in the tanks for our children.
Everyone benefits when communities take responsibility for the maintenance of school properties.
Because when you have a lot of people coming together, then that can be a powerful force. And so I just want to encourage all our community members to just come forward, offer yourselves. If you're having challenges in terms of acceptance from our schools administrators and so on, because sometimes that is a challenge, please feel free to get in touch with any of the regional offices at the Ministry of Education, and let us work with you to open that gateway for you to provide the support for the institutions.
Another way communities can get involved in the preparation of schools is by working with the Parent Teachers Association. The Ministry of Education is also engaging communities through its National Parenting Commission to see how it can foster a kind of community spirit that reflects social pride towards schools.
I will also tell you that there is already a lot of goodwill out there. So there are some parents who have come forward to say that they want to assist the ministries. And so we are trying to see how best we can develop a registry that is aligned to different schools, that we can say to different parents who want to assist, this is what the support that the school requires, so that it can be provided.
The Education Ministry notes that where there is community and even private sector involvement, schools are able to operate more effectively. Resources that would have been used on projects that have been taken care of by the community can go towards other important areas.
This partnership has worked tremendously well for a lot of our institutions. So where the community is involved, where corporate Jamaica is involved, and the government, we have seen that these schools have done exceptionally well. And so we would like to adopt this model for all of our schools across Jamaica as we seek to improve the quality of education.
Once again, here's a reminder of some of the ways you can assist your neighboring school to successfully reopen this September. You can help with repairs to benches, desks, and chairs. Help to repaint the classrooms. How about cleaning up the school compound and repairing the bathrooms? And if you look around, there may be other things that need fixing. Let's be resolved as community members
to start taking ownership for the institutions, for the schools, which are really beacons within the community. You have to engender this kind of community spirit, get the community to protect the institution, and by virtue to protect our children.
Well, I dare to make a difference, and I dare to take a stand. Let me dare to think of someone else
The Office of the Children's Advocate is very aware that we have some parents who get particularly anxious at the start of a new school year. And so we really just wanted to share with you a few tips that you can utilize to help keep your children, especially the very young ones who are going out for the first time, nice and safe from sexual abuse. Parents need to recognize that the private parts, as we call them, or the genitalia, are regular parts of the body. And so in teaching your children about the forehead and the nose and the hand, you can also teach them the names of these body parts, because that does two things. It puts them in a position to speak about these parts when something is going wrong, and it also tells them that even though they are private parts, it's not too private to talk about, particularly with a parent. Children need to know that there should be no secrets between them and their parents or guardians. Oftentimes, when persons want to abuse children, they tend to encourage them to keep a little secret. You know, this is between me and you. But from very early, parents need to establish with their children that the lines of communication are open. Mommy and daddy, or auntie and uncle, or whoever is the responsible adult in that child's life, can actually have a discussion, age appropriate of course, about anything at all that may be troubling the child. The third tip is that parents need to cultivate throughout the child's lifespan that environment whereby the child feels comfortable to speak. Conversation should not be off limit, topics should not be taboo, and you really need to get to a stage whereby you have teachable moments, we call them. So we see a lot of things reported in the newspapers, sometimes on the nightly news, and we can use some of these instances of horrible things that are happening to other children to start little discussions with our own children to give them tips as to how they can avoid or prevent, perhaps completely, any such reality happening to them. For these tips, and of course any other information that deals with children, that is anyone under 18 years, please feel free to contact the Office of the Children's Advocate. We're at 72 Harbour Street, downtown Kingston, and our numbers are 948-1134, or website www.oca.gov.jm.
Well, I dare to make a difference, and I dare to take a stand. Let me dare you to think of someone else who's in need of a helping hand. But if I dare...
It's time for us to close the show, but let me remind you to stay connected via our website, jis.gov.jm. And while you're online, send your feedback to Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm or tweet at JIS News. On behalf of the production crew, I'm Audrey Williams. Take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.